Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look at XRP, seeing what's going on. Back in liquidation data, if I recall from before, was slightly bearish, and we'll have to double check that, kind of see where we're at for now. But just keep in mind we had a little bit of a pump earlier today from Bitcoin leading into this fundamental catalyst later today with the tariff news from Trump. So a lot of crazy nonsense going on, but I think the safe presumption is that we're going to probably pull back before we go higher. That's just my thoughts. We're short on Bitcoin at roughly 87,000. So let's take a quick look here, see what's going on. Don't forget to hit the like button. Comment below, let me know where you're at with XRP on your trades. Is this something you've been trading for a while, or are you just kind of, more so like a hodler, you just hold on for dear life, so to speak? At this point, we can see liquidation above the price action, reinforcing resistance between 220 and 225. This does incentivize the price to go higher, though. Keep that in mind as you continue to retest resistances. For right now, though, we're stuck in a range. We actually have a triangle type of pattern, which generally breaks to the downside, only because we derive from the upside. I'll explain more here on the charts in a minute, so you understand what I mean by that. But liquidation delta is jagged. It's basically going up and down, starting to compress, letting us know that we're probably due for a breakout soon. The odds of a breakdown makes more sense to me just based on this higher high, parallel high pattern that we're seeing. I'll explain when we see the charts, but generally speaking, that's not necessarily a bullish sign or bearish, it's more neutral. When we look here, though, at open interest, we can see there is a lot of open interest at the current price action, roughly about, again, that resistance at 218 to 220, upwards of 225. That's where all that liquidation is essentially compiled or just averaged out, if you will. And we can see down here 205 to 210 with the lower open interest. So support, resistance, we're kind of in the middle of it all, right? And that generally implies, once again, a breakout is inevitable. So we didn't actually see the price breakdown previously because Bitcoin did pump up here, but as you can see, we sold off pretty hard off this rejection, off this descending type of trend here. So this could very well still take place here. As we can see, the price action did pull back. We may see an increase in value depending on how Bitcoin performs. I think if Bitcoin breaks 87,000, then we're probably going to see a lot of altcoins continue higher. However, that comes with a disclaimer because Bitcoin dominance is just consistently going higher. We're at 63% now. As this continues to go up, altcoins are continuing to suffer. So just note that there's very few altcoins today that are doing well, contrary to or in light of rather Bitcoin's recent push higher. So all good there in that sense, if depending on how you look at it. But if we take a look at the daily here, not so good is probably the best way to describe it. We are below the descending trend, below all moving averages, retesting this lower low at roughly $2 consistently. The more you do that, more likely you are to break. That, in conjunction with this descending type of trend and pattern, leads me to believe we're going to see further downside. We can see that we are still below all moving averages. The daily time frame looks absolutely terrible, unless you consider the momentous indicators, which I don't really think are all that beneficial right now in this heavily manipulated market. That's just me personally. Now, taking a look here, of course, once more, just kind of drive this home so you understand how these patterns work. Generally, triangle patterns break in the direction that they're heading. Obviously depends on how the retest is established. There can be other patterns that's kind of that establish, lower lows consistently. Those break down further. This one is providing higher lows, which does kind of add some conflict, reinforcing the fact that we may not break down and we may go up. So it's kind of a tricky thing. When we have situations like this, though, folks, and I know it seems kind of crazy. It's like you've watched me for 3 or 4 minutes to tell you to not take a trade. But the truth is, in situations like this, when you have indecision in both directions, you just want to steer clear of it. It's simple as that. Why force a trade that has a low success rate? It doesn't make a ton of sense. Either way you look at it, we're still in that 0.618 golden pocket kind of support and resistance zone. We're right here averaged out at this 210, 212 point of control here locally ever since we've been, basically trading in this range since the, roughly last month. We can see that we've retested this level and the average buy-in is 212. We're pretty much right there at the average price. So when I see this kind of price action, I generally steer clear. But if we look at the hourly time frame, we're probably starting to see some cracks in the glass. Let's double check here. We're testing this lower support range on the cloud. And the lagging spans with the price action, conversion lines above the baseline. This is just a big mixed bag of who knows what the hell is going to happen next. So once more, just to reiterate and reaffirm, when you don't know when the charts are telling you two different things, you don't take a trade. Simple as that. You don't just flip a coin and hope for the best, right? Oh, 55% probability going up, I'm going to take a long. if you do that, I recommend low position size, low leverage. Simple as that. But between now and then, whenever that comes to pass, I would just highly recommend just, think about how you're trading and not just why you're trading, but also, how to be a responsible trader. I mean, people with a ridiculous amount of money that are only using small percentage of their portfolios, they're not taking trades on XRP right now. I can assure you that. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense. Once more, who am I to know? I've only been trading for 20 plus years in 5 different markets. So hopefully you can find benefit in all of what I've hopefully imparted to you here today. If you do want to become a better trader, I do recommend checking out my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I've got a lot of playout charts available there, kind of just giving you insight on all the coins that I cover. And obviously, if you're part of our community, make sure that you reference our it's our trade alerts. I kind of give you a heads up on trades I'm planning to take. This is our trade from yesterday, 87,000 at Bitcoin, that's short. Actually, this is an alert from earlier today, but yesterday I was preparing for 87,000. And then obviously make sure you read through my my signals guide too. That's available on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here. Okay, so check it all out. It's all there for you. If you need it, just be sure to utilize it. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.